The world had been swallowed by the sea, making an endless abyss. What would you do? If you had to fight off sea monsters as big as three Will Chamberlains, could you even survive? Well, in the Manhwa Leviathan, it's your only way of life, and the only way of survival for these poor people. In the Manhwa of Leviathan, the world had been taken over by the ugliest sea monsters and creatures I have ever seen in my life. This happened after a series of global events and disasters destroyed the earth, leading to mass flooding and making this an endless abyss of sea. Not only does this lead to mass flooding, but also leads to new diseases, creating sea monsters that look like Titans from Attack on Titan, which may be one of the craziest combos I've ever seen in my life. These very sea monsters actually make the Titans from Attack on Titan look like chumps, to be honest. But the people in Leviathan are like the most saddest and like desperate people I've seen in my life. Like these people are literally making homes and bases on top of skyscrapers from the past Earth that has been flooded. Like places in New York, like some of the biggest areas in the world, they've made like homes off these skyscrapers, which are so funny to me. But it shows how humanity can like set up ways of living so easily on top of previous ways of living, which is actually pretty cool to me. But I feel like the whole setup of having these people live on boats and skyscrapers is a great way of showing them false security, because these homes with skyscrapers are actually homes for nests and sea monsters that they didn't even know of, because people are too pushy to go down there. But I feel like if you like Attack on Titan or even a manga like Sweet Home, both apocalyptic stories, then you'll love the story. Now, this story focuses on two really dumb little kids. The first being a little boy named Bota and his little sister named Rita. Now, see, they're traveling across the sea with their father in a very small fishing boat. Like, I feel like if a sea monster ever came across this thing, they're getting diffed like crazy. They have no chance. But we don't know this. Neither do the kids, but their father is actually a fucking beast. Like, this man, if I can compare him to somebody, he is like LeBron James of this world. Like, he is an undisputed GOAT, and nobody can really stand up to this guy. Like, he is a legend in the making. And somehow, he's the father of these little kids. But now, Bota and Rita make some very, 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 very dumb decisions early on. These decisions lead to some of the craziest shit popping off, like especially with introduction to these sea monsters. So now, one sea monster has the ability to like use its tentacles and like ooze to fucking make humans and like different objects to trick people into coming to them. And now these little kids think it's real, and they think, oh, it's some freaking After seeing this disgusting creature, they think it's crazy. Like this is something they've never seen before, and it's like the most insane thing they've seen in their life as they've been living on the sea. But as you actually get to spend time with both Boda and Rita, you see how their dynamic grows so much and it flourishes into something beautiful. Like seeing the older brother and the smaller sister bond really is special in a lot of different stories, and it really highlights how much an older brother will do for their little sister, or how much a sibling will do for their little siblings to protect them from the world and just cherish them and help them a lot. That's one reason why I think the characters in this manhwa are so great, and that's what this manhwa really excels at. And the manhwa really makes them feel like true siblings, which I love. Now, Bocha's main motivation in the story was to keep Rhea safe. And also another one is to kill every single sea monster that he can possibly see, which is pretty funny because like kind of like Aaron from Attack on Titan. But as you get to see more of Bota, you feel his progress and motivations keep going, going, going. And you see him become this powerless little kid who has nothing to do in life. No one's giving him any jobs. No one sees him as an actual adult or someone with strength. Just badass guy who's killing leviathans, killing sea monsters with no effort, and actually saving all the ships in the whole world from these sea monsters and leviathans. See, Rita, on the other hand, who is his sister, is not as innocent and silly as it would seem as for a little sister or a kid. Rita puts in some serious work and goes insane towards the latter half of the story. And I really like how they transitioned her character and made her character. And then just didn't make her like this sad character who was weak and had no plot other than being saved. They gave her a real purpose and something that really helps the story going forward. And is an insane plot twist for a story. But I really do like the decision that every single character plays a crucial role on top of each other, and everything really does matter. Characters like Kana or Dohu actually brings a lot more depth, especially Kana, who brings that depth for both the siblings and makes them elevated, and Dohu is just a fucking piece of shit. But the characters are just an amazing way to elevate this story even further in my mind, and it's a great part of the story. Now, one more thing I really love about this story is the way they really utilize horror and action in this manhwa. Like, it really reminds me of Sweet Home, which was one of the first manhwas I ever read, and it was amazing. Like, this is like some nightmare fuel that you'll get reading this manhwa if you're scared of fishes or the sea. Like, it is very terrifying. Some of the scenes just are insane. Like, I remember in the beginning, like, Bota and Rita find this nest under this big skyscraper, and it is so scary because everything just stops popping out at once, and they start climbing up to them, and it's like nightmare fuel, bro. It's insanely scary. It's like so creepy too. Not only is the horror very amazing, but the action is done so well. Like all the action scenes and the way they fight the sea monsters is done very fluidly. I like the whole concept how they're riding like surfboards to go around and fight these sea monsters. And the way they fight really reminds me of Attack on Titan, which also if you like Attack on Titan, you would like this story because it really gives a lot of Attack on Titan vibes. But now the manga also has very great art. In my opinion, the scenes are all done beautifully. They're all drawn amazingly. The shadows are all good. Everything about this manga is very good. And the way the art is done really makes you feel anxious every time these monsters show up or every time shit goes down. Even though I really love this manga, there is one thing that I really don't like about it is that it's too fast paced at times. Like it'll go from defeating one sea monster just to go from another, and this everything moves forward very quickly, which can be a little bad and can ruin immersion for some people who are reading. But also another negative thing is sometimes the series doesn't really have a good connection with how they do some things and how they connect to the plot, which can make it feel a little out of it and be a little disconcerting for people who are really paying attention to the storyline. My opinion, I don't think it takes too much away from how much I really like it. I think it's not that much of a big of a gripe, but it still is something that I have to say. I would 100% recommend you guys to read Leviathan. Not only is it a great manga, but it's also a nice and quick, easy read. It's only like 200 chapters long, so it's a nice, good read. It gives you a lot of depth and gives you a lot of volume, so it's a very good one to read. It's straight to the point, doesn't cut back on everything, and it's gonna leave you feeling satisfied 100%. It's amazing. Not only is it filled with great characters and good action scenes, amazing horror scenes, also amazing art. Now, if you love Attack on Titan, I feel like you 100% love Leviathan. It gives the same feel, a lot of the same action scenes, a lot of the same character types, a lot of the same horror elements, and it's very amazing. Now, if any manga will deserve an anime, I think Leviathan does 100%. Please, someone make Leviathan into anime. It would go crazy. That's it, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you ever read Leviathan. Let me know what zoos I should cover next. I'm going to see you guys later.